got a problem here, Ray.
And 3 orders was going to be fine, but the wind chill just made my hands numb.
We have a real problem here.
What is it?
I'm looking at Bob's QRZ site, and I don't see a single mention here that he was educated on the world-famous Toad Harbor net.
Randy, I can't remember when I updated that. Okay, so now I got another homework assignment, because since I started coming in, I said, geez, there's a lot of stuff in there that's not quite right. I better update it, so I better take that site down so I don't get chewed out anymore.
Yeah, but Randy, we don't want him to advertise he's educated on the Toad Harbor net when he has a Mickey Mouse like that thing up in his backyard.
Well, he can still be educated, and the good part is, Bob, that you'll be able to keep your hands warm when you're updating your QRZ site.
And 3 orders.
Hello, Mark.
I'll do that. Thanks.
Sounding good, Mark. Go ahead.
Thank you. On my stainless steel, tiny, infinitesimally small wire with my 300-ohm window line, it shouldn't work. Good evening.
It doesn't work.
I know, Ray. You keep telling me.
Well, it works, right? That's the caveat there.
Well, according to, I don't know if somebody's lying to me, but I guess him and Good Mike are only a few miles apart, and Good Mike's a solid 10 dB stronger, so there's obviously something going on.
Well, he's running a loop versus a dipole too, so he should be 12 or 13 dB stronger than Mike. I mean, he should be at least as strong, if not a little bit stronger.
Mike's about, I'd say probably 35, 40 miles due east of me.
35 miles, my gosh.
Hell, you couldn't even see that. I mean, if we engineered you an antenna and you did it exactly the way we told you, your signal would be stronger than his.
I'm waiting for when you want to come down. Just charter a copter and bring the goodies down, and I'll be out there with you, bringing the poles down, pulling the stuff up, re-pulling stuff, and I'm with you, brother. When do you want to do it?
Oh, my God. I mean, Randy and I are professionals. I mean, portal, $300 an hour. Just tell us when to show up.
Well, I'm going to go for Bernie, and I'm going to have somebody else pay you for the work for me.
I don't care who pays me as long as I get paid.
Hey, W2MUR and I are about the same distance apart, about 40 miles apart.
I'm just waiting till I get my 1,000-foot roll of copper wire back from my buddy who has it, because he wants to put up a 160 antenna, but he's probably never going to do it. So I told him to give it back, and it's just a matter of getting up there one weekend and getting it from him.
What kind of wire is it? What gauge, and is it solid or stranded?
I believe it is solid 14-gauge copper, with the black or green outer coating with the clear stuff for the gasoline.
Yeah, okay. Well, that'll be okay. It'll be a hell of a lot better than what you got.
It's heavy, Ray. It's heavy.
Yeah, well, heavy or not, it's going to work a hell of a lot better.
It should be sufficient. I mean, 14 gauge.
If I put it up and it doesn't do anything any better, I want my money back.
If you put it up right, it'll be better.
Hey, Randy, I sent you an email.
You did?
Yeah, with that thing on optimizing your ground radials.
Oh, thank you. I'll check it out.
And I did that whole Severn thing today.
Yeah, wasn't that pretty interesting?
Yeah, it was, and at some points in some places the copper weld can actually be better than plain copper.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. I know, which doesn't make any sense. I didn't read that article. I just kind of skimmed through it, so I didn't really read it. But if the diameter of the copper wire and the copper weld is exactly the same, I don't think the copper weld would be better. I think the copper weld might just be a little bit larger diameter. Did you get that from the article?
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things was using two kinds of wire with antennas. It was using the copper in the high current areas and using the copper weld where it wasn't. And the copper weld could be used in areas of the antenna that had copper.
Yeah, but that's just, I mean, that's more of a, God, I don't know how to put it into words. That's more of like a theoretical, because who in right mind is going to put up an antenna that's, say, half copper and then half copper weld, and because then the connection you make is probably going to be an issue. The long and short of it is, if you have the space and you have two things to hang your antenna from, or three, what you really want to put up there is a cage dipole. You want about an 18-inch circle with six wires in it, and that's what you want, a caged dipole, and or a caged loop. That would be the ultimate antenna. They'll build 4 telephone poles, tall, 80 feet, have the big cage dipole go all the way around it, feed it with the biggest, fattest feed line you could get, all solid copper, really well insulated and everything, and that would give you the best all-around performance, and it would really work, too.
Yeah, I was thinking of about Randy's thing today there, having a cage around the tower, and I was thinking how I would do that. I would think that you could use like 3 pieces of PVC going to the tower, and you could actually have 6 wires outboard of the tower in a cage.
You don't need 6, you need 3. If you have a triangular tower, you just go up the outside legs like that with like 10 gauge copper up each leg, and then you go around the bottom in a triangle. You solder the 3 wires together on the bottom and the 3 wires together on the top, and that's your driven element. And that's best performance. I would do it right with the tower too. I would still have the tower insulated. I don't know, Randy, did you? I mean, I'm sure you could model it, but you were talking about doing that without the tower being insulated, right?
Yeah, we've been back and forth a couple of times about different ways of doing it. Yep.
Yeah, it would seem to me if the tower was grounded and the driven element was only a few inches away from it like that, that wouldn't be the hot setup. The thing to do is isolate the tower from ground and then just tie the whole tower together. Everything. The tower should be welded. Every section of the tower should be cleaned and welded together, and the copper, because the copper's got less resistance than the steel tower, even though the tower's large. Just make that driven element as big and fat as you can, and as big, the biggest copper you can get up there, and tie the tower in together. But you could also make the element, like say the tower's 13 inches on a side, which I think around 25 is, and then you could go out like 20 inches with the copper. So the bigger the driven element is, I mean, if you can make that driven element 20 feet in diameter, it would just be better. Everything you do is going to make it better.
Yeah, and if 3 wires is good, 6 is better.
Yeah, but you get to the point of no return. The steel tower can be a problem, unless it's all bonded and welded together. Even he says so in that article, and I agree with him.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to weld the tower together unless you wanted to grind it off to get it apart. I would think that some way of having really good jumpers on the legs would be the best way.
You could do that too. You could do it either way, but Randy's a welder and usually lays the tower on each side of the tower, so you got some, place for the current to flow. And again, it's a ferrous material. The RF does not like a ferrous material.
I would weld the tower. Yeah, please. I would weld the tower, and then when I got ready to take it down, if I got ready to take it down, it would be the end of my ham radio career anyway. It would be just a matter of pushing it over and letting, flopping it onto the ground and cutting it up and sending it to the scrapyard.
Yeah, get a video of that. Put it on the Toad Harbor page.
That's how the tower came down at the house in the town of Florida. That when I had my 2-meter stuff on.
Didn't somebody break a guy wire or something on that?
No. The one in the town of Florida? No. When I took all that stuff off and decided I was done with ham radio because I had a real problem with my wife at the time, I just went out and called George up and I said, "You want a tower?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Come over and get it." He goes, "I can't come over right now." I said, "Fine." And he goes, "What was that?" I said, "That was a tower hitting the ground. Come over and get it whenever you want it."
Oh, I thought you told the story one time of some guy was doing work for you and like caught one of your guy wires with a backhoe or something.
That was up in Rochester with the hex beam. That wasn't that tower. That was the hex beam. The guy had a Roan push-up mast and had that up, and the guy was digging up stumps from. I cut down 60-some trees so I could put up a freaking antenna for HF, and I forget who the guy is. I forget his name now. I called him the Great Big Pumpkin because he's a great big fat guy, and he always wore a jumpsuit. But yeah, he caught it and pulled the hex beam down.
Hey, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just updated my QRZ page, so not much, but it put me in there as a pledge, as a plebe, pledging for the Toad Harbor Net.
Let me just take a look and see if it's satisfactory or not.
Well, I put it in. I don't know how long. I guess they have somebody that has to check it over before it goes in there.
Can you imagine a guy checking this stuff over? Who is this? Who's this 1930 group that everybody's putting on their websites?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Ray, I started reading some of that guy's stuff. You're right. It's been a long time since I did complex algebra, but I'm going to stick with it. I used to teach that stuff, and it's been a while.
Well, which article are you reading?
It was I don't have it in front of me now, but when I put his name in and Googled it, there were a number of chapters, and the one that interested me was on the number and length of ground radials. And so he had the reactance figures in there, and he has the equations too. So that part of it was pretty good. I didn't get to and I saw a little bit on the resistance figures on the different materials, but mostly on the effect of ground radials, lengths, and number of them, different types of ground, and antenna height. So there's a lot of variables there.
Right. Well, you're running the vertical, right? So, how tall of a vertical could you put up there?
I'm thinking. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want a vertical, the problem with the vertical is, at least from my perspective, the problem with the vertical is if you're going to do it right, it's a lot of work. But if you're going to do it, then do it. That's the whole thing. Either do it or just put up a dipole or a loop, because the dipole and the loop are infinitely much, much, much easier. And to do a vertical properly, some people just don't have the property to do a dipole or certainly a loop. So if you don't, you really only need an antenna 20 feet long, especially if you're in the middle of a big field. If you have a big open area, really, with a 20-foot long antenna with a big radial ground system underneath it, you're all set.
Yeah, we'll see. It's getting better. I have a capacitor on the bottom of it, so I was able to null out all of the inductive reactance. So, like on this frequency, it's pretty flat. I don't know what that means in terms of radiation power, because SWR can be misleading, but I was able to get it to pretty low SWR, inductive reactance, because it's a helically wound antenna, so there's a lot of inductance there. So 20 radials, we'll see. There was an antenna that I put up to see how it worked, and it worked okay, so we'll see. We'll keep working at it, though.
Well, I don't know. I just don't see much on those helically wound antennas.
Oh, it's a compromised antenna for sure. And once the weather gets good, I'm going to look at getting a 160 loop up. I think it'll fit. And I've had such good luck with my 80-meter loop, and and Carl sounds great. So that's my plan anyway. But in the meantime, this is what I got, and I'm reading up on making it as best I can. And that guy's articles are pretty good.
Bob, if you need a hand when you get ready to put your loop up, say the word, and we'll come down and give you a hand.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's awfully generous of you. I got a few tree climbing kids that that I use for other work too, so we may be okay. But I will certainly keep it in mind, and if I need you, I'll make sure it's worth your while and doesn't interfere with your other activities. Thanks, Randy. KT Titty.
You do. When you put up a loop or a dipole, all the corners of the loop, they all have to float. Do not tie them off. If you tie them off, it will break the first time the wind blows.
Yeah, my 80-meter loop are all floating. I think with one of them I have tied off, and that's where the feed point is near the corner. But I sustained a couple of tree limbs falling, but I had counterweights with pulleys on two corners, and with the floating corners, they survived. I had to cut the branches, and the wire popped right back up. I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, that's what I got here too, and I'm using gallon jugs for the weights.
That's what I use, Carl. I have gallon jugs.
It's funny, a gallon jug wouldn't hold one corner of my antenna no matter what you eat. Lead in it, it wouldn't hold one corner of my antenna.
Well, I've had a couple of them after freezing and thawing and sprung a leak, so I had to replace them. And I found the ones that work the best are the ones that windshield washer solvent comes in are really good and heavy duty, and those seem to work pretty well. And then those big heavy plastic ones that have the laundry detergent in it, those large ones you get at the grocery store, they're the best because they're the heaviest.
Yeah, I used antifreeze containers.
It's funny, I've got York dumbbells, the hexagon dumbbells that I curl, 50-pounders on the corner, and the one corner, and it picks it up like it's an empty pail.
Boy, there's an awful lot of stress on that.
Yeah, there is. My antenna is like a snare drum. It's so tight to pull this thing up because I've got some of the legs are 200 and some feet, so and mine's tied, pretty tight. But I've got a lot of ropes holding it, so I don't know, for whatever reason it stays up there, thankfully.
Yeah, that's boy, when you think of a run like that, Randy, there's a lot of tension in the wire because you just kind of get the gravity sag. So yeah, I would imagine that doesn't surprise me. You get big, heavy weights like that. What size wire do you have for your antenna?
It's only 12. My feed line is 10 gauge, but the wire itself for the antennas is 12 gauge.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. A lot of tension there.
Mine's 12 as well. I figure, and I'm basically square, so it's 120, 130 foot on the side.
Well, according to Rudy, that's basically what you want, at least 12.
Yeah, and then my next one's going to be maybe multiple runs or multiple pieces side by each, but I don't know. I wish I had a few $1,000 that I just didn't need for anything, and I would go out and I put up 5 telephone poles and put up the loop inside of 5 telephone poles, and then I would build it super good and not have to worry about it for probably ever.
Make them out of block.
What do I've been thinking about telephone poles too, Randy. What can you get? What do they go for?
Well, the 80 or 100 footers that I want are $2,000 or $3,000 a piece.
Yeah, geez, No need to worry the little lady about that.
What do they do with the used ones that they replace?
They cut them up and they give them away. So if you can find anybody that's replacing 80-footers, take them.
Yeah, well, that's not an easy thing to drag around either.
Well, that's the problem. An 80-footer is hard to maneuver. You know, it costs you a lot to move.
Yeah, we can do it. We can reenact the Easter Island monoliths there, sticking one of those things in the ground.
Tell you what, though, if you cut one in half and you could, and you had a little bit of mechanical ability, you could put those back together. I would, if I could find one 80-footer or four 80-footers, and I had to cut them in half to move them, I would do that because I could put those babies back together without any trouble.
Boy, I'd love to know how you do it and keep that strength.
Well, if you're only holding up a loop, you don't need a whole lot of strength.
Yeah, I'd bore them. I would set up a way to turn them and the centers out and put like an 1.5 or 2 inch rod right in the center of the thing, 3 feet down, 3 feet up, and then do the same thing on the outside with a strap. Strap the outsides with them, 4 straps on the outside. You could definitely put that back together.
Yeah, that might hold. It might, but boy, I don't know. I wouldn't want the house near it in case it does break.
Well, that's the thing, and then throw a guide wire. Put a guide on the thing. Put a piece of Dacron rope. Carl will tell you how good that is. Put one piece of Dacron rope, on a wind side or something like that. And holding up a loop, you don't need that much strength. Actually, I've been pricing out poles, building steel poles that'll hold up, and do like a 5-inch. What is it? 5-inch, 4.5-inch, and 3-inch, 3.5-inch steel pipe. You could get that 60 feet in the air and put up 4 of those as well.
Yeah, but then again, now you have steel pipe, dealing with the antenna, and I mean, if you were going to just go crazy and do this right, you really want wooden poles. You would just want wooden telephone poles, no guide wires, no nothing, just the poles, and then put the poles in on a slight angle. Put them off, laying backwards by 1 degree or something. Just 1 degree if you could do it, and then put them in and let them settle in, and then you're all set. And of course, you have good pulleys up there, and you never have to go up there again. And then you just run the cage and do the big deal, and that's it. And it's done forever. That should last a long, long time.
If you think about it, the steel poles would be kind of cool because you could keep those far enough away from the antenna where it would, and then you could take those poles and turn those into your steerable vertical system.
Well, that's true. You could do that.
This is K1RMA. Wouldn't the steel poles be at a right angle to the radiation, so that the steel pole would not have any effect on the loop wire?
It would be at right angles. You're right. Hi, Don. But although I still think I know you'd have an effect, somewhat. You'd have to have some kind of an effect to the wire if it was very close.
Well, I think the trade-off, as far as cost is concerned, I think might be worth it.
I think, well, if you did it that way, and you did like a solid fiberglass rod 10 feet out of the top of the steel pipe, I think then you may be okay,
Plant some trees right now.
Very good. Okay, this is K1RMA. I'll be just sitting and listening.
Don, you've got a good signal up here tonight.
Well, I thank you very much. It's just a simple inverted V, 200 watt rig, and that's basically it. This is K1RMA.
What rig what are you running? 200 watt rig? What is that?
The FT2000. I know it's a Yaesu, and this is an ICOM group, but anyway, it works out well for me.
Wait a minute. Now I take a lot of what would that word be, Carl?
I don't know, but it's no longer an ICOM group.
It's never been. It's never been. Understand this. It's never been an Icom.
No, not per se.
No, we've always liked some of the Icom rigs, but many people come in with all kinds of rigs that we don't badmouth. You know, most of them aren't Yaesus, but I mean some of them are okay.
Yeah, well, you know, now that you mentioned it, I was listening to a conversation on 80. A couple of guys were talking, and I don't know what kind of rig the guy had, he said, but he was having an awful problem modulation-wise with it. And he came up here, and even though you guys gave a tough time, you straightened out the problem for him. So, yeah, it's starting to be known as the world-known Toad Harbor Group.
Yeah, well, we've had that story lots of times, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, Ray has an what's he got now? He's got a Kenwood and an Icom, and we've had some guys that listen. Basically, we always say, what are you running? Because it sounds like crap, and then it doesn't matter what it is, but we help somebody fix it, right? If it sounds like crap, but there's been a million times that people come in here, they sound great, and say, hey, what are you running? You sound great, and it could be a Flex or an Anon or a Kenwood or a Yaesu. It could be anything, but you don't. I mean, we don't. I don't like to have people think that they have to have a certain brand radio to come in here.
You know, I looked this up just for you. The Yaesu FT2000, right? That's the one you have?
Yeah.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me. Now, I'm not trying to pick on you, but I'm just reading you right out of the Sherwood Engineering Chronicles, we'll call them. It's one of the worst ever. It's only got a blocking 100 kilohertz blocking of 120, so that's like the 7610, which overloads like crazy here, and it's 20. Let's see. Let me think. Let me see this. Wide space dynamic range is that's not too bad. At 20 kilohertz, it's not bad. But at 2 kilohertz, where they test the radios for, and that's where they look at their parameters. It's only like 61 and 63. That's actually worse than a lot of the real small mobile units. So, you know, if you ever decide to upgrade, go to the Sherwood Engineering page and learn all that data and pick your radio out of there.
Hey, Don.
Yeah, Ray. Randy.
Whose signal's better, mine or Ray's?
Well, you know, you have to realize I'm not too far from Ray.
Yeah, but with that BS that he just gave you, I mean, I would have thought that would have gotten a little bit of a bump.
Hey, I'm giving them the truth. That's all I'm telling them. A lot of these people don't understand the particular radios they have are really good or really bad. And that particular radio, I'm quite surprised because, you know, that was supposed to be a very good radio, and it's really not.
Well, you know, if I sound okay or reasonable to you folks, and this certainly is the frequency to ask that question on, then I guess, you know, it really isn't that awfully bad. I've got an FT 1000 Mark V field sitting right behind me that I might put on sometime and have you judge it. Randy, the microphone is the old 664. Mic, and which is one that was really great back in the 60s. Beautiful mic, and I get some very good reports with that. But I will have to put it on sometime. Anyway, Ray, I certainly thank you very much for the info, and golly, I'm just going to keep right on using this thing. I really love it.
That's the old EV664?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty cool-looking mic.
Oh, I know. It not only is it a cool-looking mic, but it really sounds great.
Here's a 1000. Is it a FT1000 MP Mark V field? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Ray.
Okay, well, this one has the INRAD roofing filter in it, so 100 kilohertz blocking, 135 dB, and the 2 kilohertz is 71. So that's not good either. But that's with the roofing filter, good roofing filter in it. I'll see if I can find it without.
Yeah, well, you know what I'll do? One of these nights, I will put that on, and I'll basically see what you guys think of it.
Yeah, but keep in mind what the transmitters sound like is not all that important, because when you spend all this money for an expensive radio, you're paying for the receiver. All the transmitters can be made to sound pretty good. I mean, if you screw around and get the right microphone, you get it adjusted right, they're all going to sound okay. But you can't do anything about the receiver.
Well, yeah, you're right there. But for the work that I do around the ham bands, personally, I think the thing works fine, and I'm really very, very satisfied with it. And really, when you come right down to it, the darn thing looks beautiful. I love it.
It's one of the best looking radios out there. In its day, it was Randy had one. Remember when Randy had one, W1 RSS or W1 whatever it's called? That's a great looking radio.
I love it, and that's probably why I'm keeping it. I have to admit as well that I do have a 7300, which I talked to you guys on a couple of weeks ago. So, but that's up in my family room. So that's another studio. I've got 3 of them. This is Studio A. That way, management has a tough time trying to figure out where I'm going next.
Have you compared the receivers between the 2000 and the 7300?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Which one sounds the best? Which receiver sounds the cleanest?
I would have to say the Yaesu sounds the cleanest. The 7300, as far as receive is concerned, it does give me a little more features as far as looking at the different signals. Of course, that this thing doesn't have. But I really still like this unit.
I know some guys that have the 7300s, the 2000s that just love them, just love the radio. So if you're liking the way it sounds, the overload troubles and all that stuff that have been reported here, I say hang on to it.
Oh, I intend to. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to back on out, and I'm sure there's other folks that would like to drop in and say howdy. So this is K1RMA. I'll be in the. Actually, I'm going to go on the other side of the shop here, and I'm working on another rig.
What are you doing?
You guys don't want to know, because it's. I'm basically in the 50s and the 60s rigs, and so I'm working on an older rig.
We go on AM a lot,
Well, I've got a rig that I'm working on, and I should have it up and running perhaps in about a week. But I picked up an amplifier many, many years ago. 20, 25 years ago. A pair of 813s, and I could never get it to work right. Just couldn't get it to work right. So I kept putting the thing down and waiting another couple of years, and I'd bring it up again, and I'd start working on it, and I still couldn't get it working. Anyway, about a week ago, I picked it up, started working on it, and got this thing working just the way it's supposed to. And it was a combination of drive versus plate voltage, that type of deal. And it's running a cool 300 watts and AM-wise, of course. And so I'm putting it in a rack now and getting it all set up, and I'm going to put my Ranger to it. And so that's more or less what I've been working on.
Will a Ranger work on 160?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it will.
Okay, well then we have to have an AM night.
Okay, Ray. Well, you know, the only problem is the amplifier is only 80 through 10. But I know this Ranger sounds beautiful. So that's basically why I want to put it on this vinyl. Vinyl was probably built about in the 50s, probably. And the guy that did it did a real decent job. I really think he must have been a machinist or something. But that's why I never got rid of it. That other clunker that I was working on, about a month and a half ago, with the 4 813s, that's going to wind up a parts rig. So that's what's going to happen there. This is K1RNA.
Do you want this amp that I have, Don?
If I had some way of getting it, you're darn right I would.
I'll bring it to you. I like to take a drive. I don't mind driving it out there. I'll just, as long as you got a place to put it, I'll haul the thing on. I'll put it on the truck and we can just drag it off with a rope. I don't care.
No, that's okay. I've got a backhoe that I can lift it off the back and run it in here to Studio A. We'll put a dolly on it and then just bring it in. Randy, I would love to accept, but I live too far from you, and I certainly thank you very much.
Your distance is a couple of 100 miles. I mean, I used to drive that to work. It's not a big deal. This spring, on a nice day, I'll take a ride out and I'll just drop the thing off in your yard. Well, of course, I'll let you know. We'll work it out. But yeah, you can definitely have this thing if you want it.
You're crazy, but I'll pay you for it.
I wouldn't accept any money. Hello, Steven.
I was going to say it would be more fun if you just dropped it off and didn't tell them. B3WL.
What's that have for tubes in it, Randy?
I don't know. I told them before. I forget what is it, 813s or something. I don't know. I would have to go out and look. Maybe 1000s or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, but it's got glass tubes, not metal.
Maybe they're 3CX800s. I think is what they are, Ray.
Yeah, 4 of them, right?
Yes, 4 of them. Yeah, they're in a box.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm still waiting for my box of tubes. Where are they?
I've got them right here with me. You got to come out and get them. See that? That's where the conversation ends. He's got to come out and get them.
Hey, Ray, stop by my house on the way. I'll ride out with you.
Carl, you would have to drive to his house, give him an injection, and drive him here, and we'd have to wake him up here.
Oh, he's gonna come in that fancy convertible there. That's what we'll use.
Oh yeah, the Beamer.
Okay, I'm back.
Here's a vintage 77 DX, like I have. That's not in very good condition. The guy wants $7,000 for it. Wow.
Yeah, well, he's simply nuts. And it is a beautiful amplifier. I agree, but again, if I had one, I'd want the 2 tubes in it. I'd to run it really, run it light, but with 2 tubes. That's what I would do. So if I was you, I'd still put that other tube in there. But you better get a good supply of them.
You could buy that one up here, the SX model, if the guy wants $6,000.
I'll tell you what, that's a good deal. If I didn't have this amp, I would buy that amp. I really would. I would figure out a way to sneak across the border with my backpack and come get it.
How much problem is it to buy something in Canada and bring it to the U.S.? Why should that be a problem?
I don't believe it is a problem with ham radio equipment.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a problem at all.
I'm just not that power mad anymore. I'm running 1,000 watts, and that's fine. I'm running the Sigma. In the summertime, I run the Commander. I'd like to get at least one more spare tube, which I'm still waiting for. If Dave keeps on driving that motorcycle, I'll be getting that spare tube any day now.
I think you might have to wait a while. KB2 ZVP.
N1 Delta Victor Lima.
Kilo Alpha 1, large hairy zebra.
WG2E.
VE3WL.
So, what's new in Canada? Anything good going on up there?
It's getting warmer. It's a whopping 36 here right now, and our snow's pretty much gone, a lot of it.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau is in hot water for something.
Oh, I can't understand how any country could elect somebody like him.
Well, the bottom line is it doesn't matter which politicians you talk about, they're always in hot water about something.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, everybody's always bitching about Trump, but Trump's he's good. He's good for the country. I mean, the whole point is either you're an American or you're not. All the Democrats who are trying to take him out, they could care less. They don't care one bit, not even the slightest bit about the country. They only care about staying in power. Trump's there to make the country great again, which he has been doing. So you can't complain about that.
Absolutely right. Politicians in power, they're always in hot water somehow.
Who's that? Somebody way off in the background. I think it's DX. Who's that?
Saying about Ross Perot. Yeah, Ross Perot. But the trouble with Ross Perot, he just wasn't a very good politician. You know what I mean? He just didn't do it right.
He had those cool charts.
Yeah, he would have been okay for the country too. I mean, listen, it doesn't take a mental genius. What's his name there? The ex-vice president. That bozo? I mean, he's a true bozo. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about anything. All he knows how to get in front of a microphone and tell a BS story. But he can't run anything. He couldn't run a dog pound. And the simple fact is that all these political people certainly from the Democratic side that are running for president, none of them could run a dog pound.
People that run dog pounds, and that's not an easy thing to do. You got to keep the males from the females, and you got to feed them at the certain. I mean, that's not an easy job, right? Come on.
I just said they couldn't run a dog pound.
But I mean, you're making it sound like all the dog pound people out there should feel bad that they're dog pound people.
No, not at all. I'm just saying these people, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying these people on the Democratic side, there's not one of them. Not one of those people have the credentials to be the President of the United States. Not one of them.
Come to think of it, my brother runs a dog pound. He runs Ayers Animal Shelter.
Well, like I said, he's qualified. He'd make a better president than anybody the Democrats have put up so far.
Carl, when's the Boston Spa Hamfest?
September. I want to say it usually coincides with the VHF contest. Let me see if there's anything on there for it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So Bob, KT2D, are you still there? Where did our friend Lace and Bob go?
Connections.
I doubled, Carl. Say again?
Maybe he went out to resolder his connections.
I love the fact that he went out there to check.
Why was he going out to check? He thought he had a bad connection?
Old wire that was out there coiled up hanging on the tree that was a 160-meter dipole, and I wanted to use a piece of it, and I started stripping it and stripping it and stripping it, and it was all like black.
I've had that same thing happen with coax. Coax has been inside of a building, inside of the garage, and you start stripping it back, and next thing you know, you've got 15 feet of it stripped back, and you still got black crap. That braid just loves to wick water.
And it was inside a building?
It was inside of a garage. Yeah.
Well, how could it get water in it then?
Just moisture. It was heated at times in the garage. I used to build motors in there, so I would start the wood stove, and I would work out there. Then I would let it get cold, and it would get cold for a week at a time, and it get warm, and that coax would just wick water like it was designed to do it.
Yeah, no, that's true. People don't understand that unless you have a vacuum seal on your connections, they're going to get corroded.
You've got to take, and it had no connectors on it. It was LMR 400 that I used to sell, brand new. And what you got to do with that stuff is when you lop off the end, or when you take off of a roll, I had a spool of it, and I would pull it out and measure it. I had measurements on the floor. I would measure somebody the coax and sell it. And this stuff sat around for a bunch of years after I was off of ham radio, and somebody needed to, maybe I think it was George APP maybe, and it had all this black crap. I wound up throwing a bunch of it away. But what I found out where it works really, really good is heat up a bunch of wax, and dip the end of the coax when you're done with it. Dip it down into the wax and let it sit there and get, like dip it in, cool off, dip it in, let it cool off, dip it in, let it cool off. Get like 5 or 6, lugs of wax on the end of it, and that would hold it. That would hold it pretty okay.
Or dip it into some Flex Seal.
Yeah, Flex Seal wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah, that Flex Seal's the way to go now, though. That's the way to go. I think I hear somebody down in the noise.
Yeah, Casey, is it KC3?
Who came in there just now? Go ahead. Yeah, KC3, South Carolina. That's all I got. You're right in the noise.
Yeah, give us all you got. If you don't have your compression turned on, turn that on, and give us all you got. And try it again. Say again. I think we're hanging on. Oh, man, am I tired. I got to go to bed. I'm pooped out. This has been a long couple of weeks, and the rest of the week is going to be long as well.
The VHF contest is September 14th, so it could be the week before that. I don't know.
So is your event operating at peak efficiency now?
We're running along okay, but not peak efficiency. But we've got a lot of really tough jobs that we're doing. So you're never real efficient when you're doing all these tough jobs. Like we insulate the kilns at the end of the day, and so we don't have any moisture in them. We do all these special stuff. So it's a real bugger. I'm just thrilled that the mixer is down and on the ground. That was a monster job.
But you weren't using that mixer, were you?
No. We sold it. We had sold it, but I just had to get it down and get it to the guy. The guy's going bananas. The guy's out in Michigan, that bought it, and he was wanting that mixer real bad.
Does it work right?
Yeah, it works fine. Sure, works. We had we sold it for $15,000, and we had a lot of spare parts that they had collected over the years, and I laid them all out, and I sent into Besser, the people that make the parts, and I got a quote for all the parts that we had for sale, and it's $18,000 worth of spare parts for the mixer. So the guy's got a great deal. I just it's just an old technology type of mixer, and it just wasn't what we needed.
Yeah. Okay. What does a new one cost?
Oh, geez, probably $100,000.
So how much did you get for it?
$15,000.
And how much did it cost to get it down?
It cost me $1,000 to rent the fork truck.
Okay, and how much is it going to cost to ship it out there?
He's got a trucking rate of $750. I can't even believe that he got it that cheap. But he's got this lady that he uses, and she finds truckers that are looking for loads here or there, and he got a rate of $750, which is amazing.
$750?
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound possible. Doesn't he use that much in fuel?
Well, if the guy's bringing a load out and going home, he's happy to take that load.
Wow, that is one hell of a bargain. I would have never believed that. I figured it cost him $3,000 or $4,000 to ship that.
Oh no!
You think the buyer would have paid for all that?
Well, the buyer does. But I was looking at a fork truck out in California, and it's only $2,800 to bring that fork truck from California here.
Oh, that's amazing. That's good.
NYMP2.
What are you eating tonight?
A cracker. I just got home from work. I worked my new job at the school and at GE tonight.
Well, who cares about GE? How's the school going?
It's great. My boss is great, and I actually know quite a few of the teachers, and so yeah, I like it. It'll be a great job.
Why are you double dipping?
They asked me to finish a project that was going on that I was working on at GE, so might as well take it while you can get it.
What do you think? What do you think my buddy Bill didn't have the balls to wear his red Make America Great hat or MAGA hat?
I spied mine today. It's in the back of my Impala. I gotta clean it up and get ready to start wearing it again.
My boss wouldn't mind, but I'm sure the teachers and the rest of the folk might have an attitude.
If he wore that hat on the school campus, there would be a shutdown. There would be a 911 call. The campus would be shut down.
The First Amendment apparently stops at the school grounds. I thought the whole freaking country was First Amendment.
Not in this jerk-off country anymore. Hell, you're not even allowed to have a Christmas tree. Of course, as soon as Trump got to be president again, I don't know if you guys noticed this. I know Randy did, and I certainly did. As soon as Trump became president, everybody was saying Merry Christmas again.
I want to have a nativity scene out front. I'm going to put a Make America Great Again hat on Joseph.
Yeah, I want to be in it. Which one am I going to be?
You could be, you could be one of the wise. I'll let you be one of the wise men, Ray.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so I can be a wise man, John can be a wise man, and Devin can be a wise man.
Well, I was going to say a wise guy. One of the three wise guys.
Hey, is Devin back yet?
Not till the 20th. Tomorrow he gets back.
So he must have left today.
I have to send him an email. Just I don't know where my phone is, so I'm like, it's probably out in the other room. But yeah, that's right. Tomorrow's his day back.
Well, so
already
he's in
tomorrow
the air right now as we speak, because that's a 24-hour flight.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with, his mom is Indian, and she's actually back in India right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got some really good pictures of India lately. Street, real people doing things there, and I don't know why anybody in their right mind would want to live or go to India.
Well, Devin's a great guy. For a guy that's out in India thinking about the Toad Harbor Net, making a phone call overseas and all that, he's a great guy. He's a true friend of the net.
Well, true, and there must be places out in the countryside which are okay, but you get in those major cities there, and I mean, you can barely even move. There's so many people and cars and smoke, and everything's smoking. There's no regs. It's a mess.
Don't they still have outbreaks of the plague? Didn't I read that recently? They had a plague outbreak in India?
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff there. All you have to do is just take one look, get on TV, or if you can see one of those shots of one of those major cities and what goes on there. You just can't believe it. I mean, the train cars, the train pulls in, and there's people on the roof of the train. Every car, you couldn't open the door and force one more person inside the train, and there's thousands and thousands of people waiting to get in and off, and they're sitting on the roof of the thing. It's terrible.
Yeah, they're thrifty. Words out of my mouth. I was going to mention the trains. I saw one picture, and you couldn't see the train. It just looked like this monolith of human beings holding on to each other. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're very resourceful people.
I actually would love to go there. I bet it would be a photographer's dream. The culture has a lot of color, and I would love to go.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that was probably not. I don't think that would be a real good idea to go to India if you didn't have to.
So, hey, Bob. Okay, so you're officially invited to go to the world famous Toad Harbor summer get together. Are you going?
Well, well, now that you asked, I was listening to you guys talk about it, but I didn't want to crash it. And if I recall, it's June 15th in Kingston. Is that right?
Is that when it is? The 15th? I think so. Yeah. I think that's right.
Don't go by my memory, Randy. That's my recollection, but
That's what I got on my calendar.
Yeah, I was thinking the 19th, but I got goofed up. But yeah, the 15th, I'm pretty sure that's when it is. Yeah, and then if you want to if you want to stay overnight, you're welcome to hang out with us. We have a hotel block, and they can get you the information, and it's a reduced rate,
Sure, but it sounds good. Be good to put some faces with names. And I just checked my QRZ page. They made the update, so the Toad Harbor Net is mentioned in there.
Hey guys, I'm out of here in 1MPQ. I got to watch my Curse of Oak Island. So 7-3s, and I'll catch you on tomorrow evening.
Haven't you figured out yet that that's the biggest con there's ever been on television?
They're getting warmer and warmer. I think they just found a bunch of stuff on this episode. So, anyways, it's entertaining. And 1MPQ.
Wow. Okay. Well, whatever. And 1TVL.
I'll tell you, I really like Ancient Aliens. I think they're well done, and I enjoy those.
Ancient Aliens is very good, but there's an awful lot of alien stuff that has gone on through the years, and there's just a tremendous amount of study into that now. The book I'm reading is from 1975 by Alan Hynek, but I want to get a current book by one of the guys that worked for MUFON, a book from say 2010 or 15, and read what's the latest stuff going on.
Yeah, was Hynek the guy that headed up Project Blue Book?
Yes, that was him. That's correct.
Okay, yeah, and I remember a couple. I didn't read his book, but I remember a couple of the episodes. And the other thing is, there was a documentary on Netflix called, I think, Unacknowledged. I don't know if you have seen that one. It got either good or mixed reviews about people, but I got to tell you, working in the federal government, this whole concept of unacknowledged special access program that's a real thing.
No, absolutely. A lot of those craft that are flying around now, especially the one that's the triangle, the black triangles, they belong to the United States. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. They're craft that belong to this country, and they're powered by some miraculous, power source that we don't know much about. But I believe they're copies of alien spacecraft. But there's certainly a lot of real alien stuff around too.
We need alien antenna wire.
Bob, this is not bad. This is not bad. I think it should have been brought up way up higher in the text, and it certainly should have been capitalized. World famous Toad Harbor net evenings on 160 doesn't say anything about 1930. And I mean, Ray, wouldn't you think the world famous Toad Harbor net should be capitalized?
Absolutely, all capitals. World famous Toad Harbor net.
On 1930.
Oh, geez, did I type 1960? God, I'm going to lose my provisional standing here. I'm going to be on probation. Hold on, let me fix it. And you want all caps, right?
Yeah, but you don't have 1930. You just have on 160. So you don't have 1960. I misspoke, I'm sure. But I mean, if you could get it all in red letters with flames coming off, that would be even better.
Right. Well, I didn't know if you want the frequency on there, but sure, I'll do that. All right, it's a work in progress. Thanks for bringing it up because I haven't touched that in years, and I said, oh, geez, you better get on it. But send me the information if you would, Randy, and if you need a reservation from me or however you work the logistics. Sure, that sounds nice. Thanks.
Bob, you're doing great for a new guy. Don't worry about a thing. You don't feel pressure to go fast or achieve everything all at one time. You're doing great for a newbie. KB, jeez, we're so full of crap here. It ain't even funny. KB2's at VP. Be back in just a second.
Newbie that you'll ever have. Now I'm just trying to resist Ray pushing me up to the top of 70-foot trees. That's all.
One last thing. And that is, when we take our next group picture, all the head guys of the Toad Harbor net have to be wearing their foil caps.
Yeah, that will work good too. Hey, Ray.
Yes.
Hey, your green mile one coming on at 3:30 Saturday afternoon on AMC. Yeah, it's coming on. It was on
Dick, I've seen the movie 10 times. I've seen it. I can tell you every bit of dialogue in the whole movie. But you're the one who has to watch it. Okay, Randy, you're going to bed? Good night. See you later. I guess Randy left. Tom, are you out there? KC3, KXB, and 1DBL? Well, no Tom tonight either, huh? Mark, are you still in here? N3RMR, N1DBL. Well, watch the Green Mile. It has a happy ending, kind of a happy ending. I don't know what's the bad points. It's 3.5 stars. It's a really good movie. Tom Hanks is a great actor. He plays an absolutely fabulous part in it, so it's worth watching. N1 DBL. Anybody else in here before I go?
Yes, KT2D. I'm just finishing up a few things here, Ray, so feel free to head off. I'm just closing the loop here, and good talking to you as always.
Okay, well, you enjoy the rest of the night, and I will probably catch you in here tomorrow. N1 DVL. Keep on studying those things. Do you have any of the new antenna book, either the 23rd edition of the antenna book for the league, or that other one there by Antenna Physics?
I don't think I have Antenna Physics. I do have the 23rd edition of the league's book.
Okay, well, that's a very, very good antenna book. It really is. It's excellent. Keep on reading through there, and you'll get lots of ideas. The Antenna Phys book, you should definitely buy that. That's also from the league. That's written by a physicist and a math wizard, and that's a very, 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 very good book. It's very heavy-duty reading, but you had a background in math, so that book would help you tremendously. That's the book I would recommend to you. I think that's the one you should definitely have, because if you're going to ever build a good vertical, that's the way to do it. And he goes into the antenna like you have. He does all of that in that book, but he does the math with it. Now, the math is way, way, way beyond me. But maybe for you could get back into the math, and if you can, if you're really, really proficient in math, then that book makes perfect sense. Everything in that book makes sense if you understand the math, which I don't. So I just have to read it and sort of get whatever I can get out of it. Anyway, 7-3, N1 DVL.
Okay.
See you, Ray. WG2E.
Thanks again for all your advice, too. I do appreciate it. And have a good evening, and I'll look forward to catching you tomorrow night. 7-3, KT2D.
And KB2ZVP, I'm back.
I thought you were leaving.
What made you think that?
Didn't you say you were leaving 10 minutes ago?
No, I just said I'll be back in just a second.
Oh, okay.
He said he was tired.
I am tired. I've been working too much lately.
Yeah, geez, I had to go to the grocery store today.
Oh, God forbid. How you doing, Dick?
We're doing okay. Storm comes by about Thursday night.
I understand. I know what you mean. Do we have a storm coming through Thursday? I understand.
Where is Bruce tonight? Bruce didn't make an appearance. Bruce, speak.
He's playing a guitar to his plants.
Oh, that's right. Do you think he's singing Blue Suede Shoes?
No, plants like more mellow stuff.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm reading this Hynek book from 1975, and I don't think it's a very good book, you know. I just don't think it's written good, and I don't think it's very good. But there are some very interesting things in it. Do you guys know what Aborigines,
Aborigines.
Pronouncing it exactly right. Who knows what I'm talking about?
You mean the Aborigines?
No, nothing to do with Aborigines. Apparitions, you know, when you see the ghost.
Yeah, apparitions, visual things that may or may not be there.
Right. Well, they have a whole section on apparitions in the book, and you know they are real. I mean, they're definitely real. I mean, positively real. Okay, because I knew a reverend that was very highly rated in the church, and he explained the whole thing to me. So they're real. So you know, part of the argument in these books are when these people have these encounters with the aliens, whether they're apparitions. Somebody pronounce it for me, because I know I'm not pronouncing it right. Apparition. Okay, close enough. Anyway, you know, they don't know if they're apparitions or they're real aliens, you know, but both of them exist. And in the book, there's one guy that's his specialty, and you know, they talk in the book that these things are definitely real. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. People see them all the time, so it's kind of a cross between whether the aliens are those or something else. So that part of the book, you know, that part that I'm reading now, which I thought was very, very interesting. But they say when you see apparitions, they usually don't have feet, and that's how you can tell the difference, because they said if you ever run into something like that, pay attention to their footwear, because they don't usually have feet. You know what I mean? It's just the spirit is in the air, but they don't have feet or shoes or anything like that. So I thought that was something very interesting. Okay, anyway, I'm going N1DBL.
Okay, take care, Ray. And Randy, move the Toad Harbor net in bold and red up to the top.
Okay, you can come back tomorrow now.
Yeah, geez, I don't like to be, exiled.
Look. Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, yeah, you can stick around.
This boring old Kenwood swing radios I've ever owned, because it just works so perfect. And it truly, honestly is. That's one of the things I notice about it. It's boring. You turn it on, it works perfect. You turn it off.
Hey, how many minutes does it take to shut off now?
It's really weird. It averages about, 10 to 20 seconds. But sometimes it'll shut off in 3 or 4 seconds, and sometimes it'll go for 30. No, it works excellent. And like I said, it works so good, it's boring. It just does exactly what a radio's supposed to do, and it's kind of unique.
Yes, sir. That's what you have to have. A good radio that works all the time.
Well, let's put it this way: it's outlasted 27610. So far, it's doing okay.
It sounds like it's top of the line, that's for sure.
So, Carl, you didn't tell me when you're sending that back.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe later this week or early next week. I haven't decided yet.
Well, all I can say is the new display is going to be a major improvement over the one that's in there. That I guarantee you.
Well, I don't know. This one looks okay, but if the other one's going to look better than this, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the second radio I had, which I told you, I don't care what they tried to tell me it was a brand new radio, but I'm sure it was a refurb. and that had the new display in it, and it was completely different. It was just a much the depth of the color was better. So it was just it just didn't. The original display always looked a little wishy-washy, where the second one was just sharp, and clean. And the other display, the original one, if you moved up, if you looked down from the top, it changed dramatically. It changed from a very, very washed out light color, if you were looking at it, say, down at it at a 45-degree angle, to if you got under it where you were looking up at maybe a 10-degree angle, it was black as the ace of spades, you know? Now, the second display did exhibit some of that, but it was nowhere near as bad as the original one.
Okay, well, I can't say I've noticed any of that, and it's just until recently I noticed it was starting to get light on the one side, so I talked to Matt, and that and the preamp, they're going to check it out.
Did you ask them what they do with the preamps? Do they change all those parts in the preamp everywhere?
Well, he didn't say he was going to do that, but he said the problem was a missed solder connection.
Yeah, I know what he told you, but I'm sorry to say I just simply don't believe it.
Well, as long as it works and they make it right, that's okay with me. Anyway, I got the box down here, so, yeah, sometime maybe this week I'll do it. Depends.
So, Carl, you had a big day today going to the store?
Yeah, tough day. It was nice out, though. Nice sunny day. The roads are dry. Wasn't too bad yesterday either. I took my truck out. I hadn't driven that since before Christmas. Put about 50, 60 miles on it.
Nice. Yeah, it was pretty. It was nice and sunny here today, so that wasn't too bad. Just windy as heck.
Yeah, well, come on up here if you want wind.
It's one of the things I miss about living up on Reynolds Road up in Glen. We had those wicked, fierce winds all the time, and I don't know, just thought that was pretty wild being up there and all the heavy winds and all that stuff.
Is your house, that house, still sided, or did you ever get the bricks on it? I haven't been up there in a long time.
Oh, it's still sided. It's got siding on it. I think the bricks, I think my son wound up taking most of the brick out of there and sold it. Actually sold it back to Cranesville Block.
Okay, because, yeah, the last time I was by there, I think there was, like, pallets of bricks laying around.
They had $50,000 worth of brick there.
Well, that's just crazy.
Well, that's what it was for the brick, you know. I got it through the company that I ran there, but anyway, he wasn't. They were moving out of there, so that brick was there, and he wound up selling it to Cranesville Block. They came up and got it.
Okay, well, one of these days when I'm out driving around, I'll have to drive up there and see what's new. Usually, you know, when the weather's nice, I like to take a nice drive somewhere, you know, get a cup of coffee, listen to some, and see what's going on. A lot of times you're by someplace you haven't been in a while, and you go, holy mackerel, when did that get there? I take it you've seen that Dollar General distribution center they built there where Fort Hunter comes out on 5S.
Yeah, there's Dollar Generals everywhere.
No, not the store. It's a distribution center. It's a huge monster place.
Oh, yeah. That's my nephew's house is right across the street from that. Yeah. At the end of that road, that's where, if you go up on 400 Road, take the first right at the Garden Bug, and the first house on the right is Mitch and Amanda's house. so we're there all the time. But actually, we'll be back there this weekend. But yeah, that distribution center is my nephew's right straight across the street.
Okay, yeah, I used to, when I was working at Target, I'd go by that every day. And every day I'd go by and they'd have another one of those concrete slabs in there, and they'd have something else the next day and the next day. So I hadn't been by there in a long time. I drove by there a couple of weeks ago just to see how it was looking.
Yeah, it's a big, massive place.
Well, it's pretty neat how they build them, with just those slabs off a truck and put up the walls. And that's the same way the Target building was. When I got hired there, they were just adding on that addition that became what they called mini load. It was the robotic cranes and then all the storage racks. And they had about half the walls up and no roof when I started working there, and it took a couple years for them to finish it. They had to blast the rock out of there before they could put the floors in.
Yeah, it just goes to show you what you can do if you really want to get something done, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, there was something they said about it, it's ultra level, smooth concrete floors or something like that, and they are. You go down there on a forklift and you wouldn't even know you weren't on like some highway.
I know at the Kmart distribution center, I'm not sure what it is now, what it's called now, but there was some concrete in there that wasn't ultra smooth.
Where was that?
At was it the Target one now? That was the Kmart distribution center when it was new, right?
Oh, well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Kmart originally built it, but the Target bought it, but that was probably 4 or 5 years before I started there.
Yeah, they had to take and they cut a lot of the concrete out of there because a couple of the slabs they were doing pours, and the guy put fly ash in the cement silo. So when they were getting the cement that day into the ready mix trucks, they were getting 100% fly ash, and the fly ash never gets hard, so they actually had to go in on that floor and scrape a whole lot of concrete out of there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I never heard that.
Oh yeah, you could be walking around. You could be walking across hard concrete, or drive. At that time they weren't driving Ford trucks on it, but you could be walking right across hard concrete, and 2 seconds later be up to your knees, nearly. Well, it won't be up to your knees, but up to your high above your ankles in mush.
Yeah, but somebody got spanked for that.
WG2E. Yeah, it wasn't a very good time.
Well, Saturday I'm going to have lunch with one of the guys, the mechanics I work with on my shift. He's still there. I think he's thinking about retiring pretty soon. So I'm going to catch up and I'll get all the scoop of what's been happening.
Yeah, there you go. It's always nice to get caught up, right?
Yeah, and hear what everybody's been up to, and then who got in trouble, and whatnot, and who's come and gone. I'll tell you, the salary people, the shift leaders and all this and stuff, the group leaders, boy, they just flew in and out of there like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah, how come? What's the reason for that?
Oh, they'd go to another place, or they'd just walk them out one day, and the next day you'd have another boss, It's like most of my working career, the bosses come and the bosses go, and you go in every day and do your job and go home.
Yep, I understand.
Well, except you're the boss, right?
Always have been. Not for, I mean, for most of my life I have been.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd rather just be I'd just rather be a grunt. You know, you come in, do your work, and go home, and you don't have to bring it home with you. You know, worrying about stuff. You know, when I was a team leader or you know the head guy on the shift or something, I just never liked that. And the worst thing I really hated the worst was doing reviews, having to judge everybody.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to do it, right? So, I don't know. It's just different personalities. I got into it with Ray on Sunday a little bit. He called me, and I was at work, and when I left, I called him back. I said, what's up? He goes, what are you doing? He goes, and he started to give me a bunch of crap about being at work on a Sunday, you know. He says, you know, you work way too much. I said, you know, all my life I've been told that. I said, and I've been told that by people that don't work enough. So I said, you know what? I don't want to hear your BS, so just shut the hell up. And I don't, you know, so we had to get into an argument about me working too much, and I don't want to hear about it, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess as I worked a lot, you know, and I worked all kinds of weird shifts and oddball hours and all that, and you know, I think that affected my life in various odd ways, you know. Girlfriends and things never really lasted when you had to work midnights and all that kind of stuff. So maybe doing that is why I never got married, and I'm still the lone wolf up on the mountain.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't have anybody to share your good times with in your retirement. But I've worked an awful lot, and you know, it's just part of my nature, and you know, I try not to judge people that don't work as much as I do or work more than I do. I do what I have to do. You know, I have a whole bunch of people rely on me, so I just make sure that I do the best I can whenever I can.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Well, you know, I got people around here. I got my buddies in the steel mill come and visit me now and again. And, I talked to the electric X-ray beam today. He's still waiting to get the lowdown on what's his matter with his TS-2000.
How come he hasn't been on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's waiting for warm weather. He's got that shack is not really warm.
Needs a bigger amplifier.
Yeah, it's a 74.7. It's gone up like 3 degrees since the AL82 has been on.
Yeah, it's 28 degrees outside and 75 degrees inside. Thank you, Alpha. Of course, the house is set at 72 anyway, so thank you, coal stove.
Yeah, I got LP here. I usually keep it at 69.
We set our heat to 67 at nighttime, and the rest of the time it's, well, when Maureen's home during the day, she's working around and doing things, you know, cleaning the joint and all that. So I think she keeps it cooler. But when I get home, she always cranks it up for me because she knows I've been cold all day and working hard, and I want to just sit back and be fat and happy and you know, be nice and toasty warm.
Yeah, it's you have a nice meal and it's all warm in the house. You don't just pass out on the couch somewhere.
That's typically what happens. We watch TV. We'll try to watch an episode, and I'll just conk. You know, I'll just conk out, and I can't do it too much. Especially, you know, going in at 5 or 5:30 in the morning and not leaving until 6 or 6:30 at night. It just, you know, I come home, I'm pooped out. But when I get on the radio here, I can stay up all night long. You know, I can just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, well, I don't miss the old alarm clock. I just get up whenever, and the only time I use it is if I got to go somewhere or have a doctor's appointment or something.
Yeah, mine gets set every night, but it usually gets shut off in the morning before it goes off. I just get up and snap the thing off. But it's funny because I can say, okay, tomorrow I've got to go to work at I've got to be into work at 6, and I'll set the alarm at like 5:15 or something, and I'll wake up at 5. Or I can say I'm not going to go to work tomorrow till 7, and I'll set the alarm for say 5:30, 5:45, and I'll sleep until then. But and I can sleep until then for a week. And then one day I have to get up and go to work early. My mind is just programmed to wake up at that time. It's simply amazing how it works. I really don't know why, but when I go to sleep at nighttime, I know what time I have to get up in the morning, and I wake up at that time every single time.
Yeah, I'm like that too. If I got to get up at 4:15, I'll roll over and look at the clock, and it's like 4:12.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right.
And you know what else is weird is you roll over and then look at the clock, and there's always numbers on the clock that make me think of something like it'll be 3:20 or 4:54 or 7:46. Why is that?
Well, they're just numbers on the clock, and your mind thinks of things that correlate to those numbers.
I think it's an omen. Who else is in here? Is it only us? WG2E.
I'm listening. I'm doing some reading on the side. KT2D.
KC3, KXB.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Randy.
Tom.
Any other what, Carl?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm just fine.
All right.
But it is 9:30, and I know it's time for me to go to bed. So I am going, and I got home from work and had dinner, and then I went to, I started passing out on the couch. So then I came in here. I woke up, and I haven't even had my shower yet. So I've got to go jump in the shower and get my buttocks off to bed. You guys have a good night, and thanks, Bob, for fixing your and admitting to your major mistake that you made, and being man enough to do that. And Tom, it's always a pleasure. Carl, it's always a pleasure. Anybody else out there, 73. We'll see you all tomorrow, I hope. Here's KB2ZVP.
Catch you later.
Randy, take care.
Likewise, Randy. Y'all rest easy now. KC3, KXB.
What's going on in Tom's world?
Waiting for spring.
Oh yeah, me too. It was nice and sunny today, and I went out and did some things, but it was windy. If it was calm, it might have been nice.
Yeah, it got to 42 here, and with the wind, it was cold.
Well, 50s tomorrow, and my plan is if it gets nice, I'm going to clean out the inside of the car. I got all the salt all over the floor mats and everything, dust everywhere. Wash the windows, get it all nice.
There you go. I see people out on their motorcycles already. Don't they realize that doggone road salt is going to eat their aluminum and pit their chrome?
Yeah, not to mention when you go around a corner and there's sand on the road.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, that's why I ride 3 wheels instead of 2.
Well, I haven't had a motorcycle since 1986, and I used to keep it on the road year-round, and if it was, even in January or February, if the roads were nice and clean, even though it was cold, I'd put on my ski stuff and go out and take it for a ride for half an hour or something, get the oil jiving around and battery charged up and whatnot.
Trouble with that, nobody is expecting to see anybody out on a motorcycle in January.
Well, I don't think anybody expects to see him anytime.
You're right. That's why I ride the 3 wheels. It's big and wide, and I got lights all over it.
Well, when I first started riding, they didn't have us do it in New York, but then they had it where you had to leave your headlight on. So in the daytime, I always just turned the high beam on and left that.
Oh, Roger.
I don't think I'll get another one. No, it's just too seasonal. There's most of the time you're looking at it wishing you could use it.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about a headlight. I modified mine and my wife's to where when you turn on the high beams, the driving lights stay on. Normally, when you put on the high beams, the spots go out.
Oh, right, yeah, like the fog lights on a car or something. Well, you know, I see a lot of guys driving around and they got like a pulsing light. Is that something you add as a kit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that and on the brake lights, you step on the brakes lights will pulse also.
Okay, yeah, I just had a regular old headlight in there, you know, so the last bike I had was a 1972 Honda 750.
That was a nice bike. I ride a Tri-Glide, and my wife rides a Softail with a Roadsmith kit on it.
Oh, okay, yeah, some friends of mine had a his and hers kind of Harley thing, and I guess they just traded up now, and they got some kind of big trike. I saw a picture of it on Facebook, and geez, the thing, it looks like it's got regular truck tires on the back of it, and I don't know, I'm going to have to see this thing.
Yeah, 15-inch tires on the rear.
K89 CHC.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is K89 CHC over here, Sweetwater Lake, Indiana. Good evening.
Oh, I got a nice signal. This is Carl, Whiskey Golf 2 Echo. I'm near Schenectady, New York, and I didn't get your suffix.
Yeah, you got Charlie, Hotel Charlie?
KD9CHC, is that correct?
QSL.
Okay, yeah, you got about 10 over 9 signal here into New York. How you copying them, Tom?
About the same. We talked to him the other night. He was looking for Randy with the 572 tubes.
Yeah, I got everything straightened out. I talked to Randy, so yeah, I guess this thing's sounding all right your way.
Oh, yeah. You're 10 over 9. And the other day there, when you didn't get a hold of Randy, the next day I told Randy there about you, and he knew who you were. So he said he either texted you or called you.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone. I just wanted to ask him a few things, and so anyways, yeah, that was about it, really. So is he out there tonight or not?
You just missed him.
Yeah, I keep on missing that guy. Oh, well, it is what it is, I guess.
Roger.
Yeah, some of those guys have to work for a living. You know, you got to get in here and before their bedtime.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll catch him one of these days. So I just thought I'd jump in there real quick. I know you guys probably were talking about something, so I guess I'll just take a standby or whatever.
Nah, it wasn't much important. We were just talking about motorcycles and stuff. Is that the name Ron there?
I got a boat. I got a boat. I live on Sweetwater Lake, and hopefully in the next couple weeks I can fire that boat up. Hopefully it'll run all right.
Oh, geez, I still got snow.
Yeah, we don't have no snow here. It's supposed to get in the 60s by the weekend. Last weekend it got up around 70 degrees. So next couple weeks I think it might stay out of the 20s, and I don't want to take a chance of getting it too cold, you know, and take a chance of cracking the block, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's a big thing here, getting everything all winterized, and my buddies that have boats have to do all that stuff there, drain them all out and fog them and wrap them up in plastic.
Yeah, my boat's staying in the barn here till the end of April.
Yeah, usually I can get mine out for, you know, around April, but depends on the weather, you know, you never know, I guess.
Roger, what are you running for a boat?
I'm running a 20-foot cuddy cabin, I'm trying to think of the name of it now. I can't think of the name of the damn boat.
I run a 26-foot Sea Ray with a 260 horse 350 Chevy.
Oh man, you got some power there. I just run a 4.3 Merc Cruiser. Mine. I just got a 4.3 Merc in mine.
Yeah, mine's a Merc Cruiser, but it's a 350 Chevy with a 260 horse.
Okay, you got 3. I think mine is rated at I want to say 190 horsepower. It might be a little bit more now. I don't know. It's right around 190 or so.
Well, I'll tell you, mine's a gas guzzler.
Yep.
A gas guzzler. You can watch the needle head for E when you open up the 4-barrel.
Yeah, you got 1 350 on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of... Well, I don't know. I never had a 350. I've always had either a 4-cylinder or V6. I like this V6. It does me... It's not too bad on gas, and I got a Harley carburetor on it, so it doesn't do too bad. As a matter of fact, I had my carburetor rebuilt last year because once you pop the Harleys, once you pop them, in the 4-barrel or in the carburetor, you just have to have them rebuilt. I don't know about, but anyways, I got that rebuilt, and then my throttle cable went out on me last year.
All right.
Yeah, I was coming to the dock, and all of a sudden my shifter just went out on me, man. It's like, what the heck? And the damn cable broke.
At least you were near the dock.
Yeah, I was right there getting ready to pull in, as a matter of fact, and it just went... I mean, it was feeling stiff on me from, a couple of years, It's like, you don't want to fix something until it breaks, right? So, when it broke, I had to fix it, you know what I mean? But it was getting stiff. I mean, like I'd be throttling up, and I had to, kind of jerk it back, to get it back, down and stuff. And I thought, there's something wrong with this throttle here. And last year was a crappy year because I had one thing after another, but this year hopefully will be good.
Yeah, I got to keep mine up. When we go out trolling, we're anywhere from 24, 26 miles out.
Jesus Christ, 24, 26. Where you troll at, on the freaking Lake Erie or something?
Lake Erie, absolutely. Take off out of Conneaut, Ohio.
Man, you catch some storms on that. Well, you're on a 26-footer, so I guess it won't bother you too much, but I get some pretty good waves coming across that lake.
You're right. And even if it looks like rain, I'm headed in.
Right. I caught one time on an 18-footer up there at Lake Erie, and it was 10-foot waves, man. Me and a buddy and a friend, we went up there walleye fishing one year, and never again am I going to take an 18-footer on a lake like that. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous about putting this 20-footer out there, but it's a cuddy, so it's got a closed valve, so at least it wouldn't be as bad, the water getting in front, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's still nothing to mess around with.
Tom and Carl will catch you tomorrow, maybe. KT2D. Have a good night.
Okay, good night, Bob. I'm not too far behind you.
Okay, 7-3, boys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Next time I go on Lake Erie, I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go out that far. I'm only going to go out maybe 3 or 4 miles or something. I ain't going to go that far out.
Yeah, we tried to hit the second trench.
Second trench. I don't know. Is that over by Canada or something?
It's just about on the line, on the international line there.
Yeah, we was over fishing in Canada waters, and of course, I think we was anyways, and I don't know, do they check you for Canadian, I mean, once you fish on their waters, and you can get in trouble for that, right, if you don't have their license?
Absolutely.
Well, they do tow you in?
Tow you in, take your boat, take your trailer, take your vehicle, take your fishing tackle.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Well, how would they take your trailer and all that if it's on if it's 10 miles? What are they going to do if it's on the U.S. side?
Well, don't quote me, but understand here if it has something to do with the boat, that they can take it.
Really? That sucks. Well, anyways, when I go to Lake Erie, I'm not going to go out there past. You know how they get those different cans? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go any farther out than H can. It's about as far as I'm going to go out.
Roger. Yeah, don't, like I say, don't, I may be wrong. All I know is what I heard.
Hey, I'm ducking out of here, fellas. We'll catch you all tomorrow. WG2E.
Okay, good night, Carl.
Yeah, 73 to you. Yeah, I live on Sweetwater Lake here, and of course, I can fish on, cruise on this lake, and then I got access to other lake here, Cordry Lake. I can go, either lake I want to go on.
Inland lakes?
Yeah. Private lakes. It's all private here. You got to be part of the conservancy. You got to live in the. I belong to a conservancy out here, and if you're not a resident and you get caught on the beach or you try to take your boat out or anything like that, you'd be for trespassing and stuff. You got to have a sticker. Of course, you got to have a sticker on my boat. So I got to buy a sticker every 2 years. But you got to be. You got to be a resident of the out here to even access facilities.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Well, in a way, I guess. I mean, you don't have to worry about, I don't know. I've never had any issues with anybody, so, but yeah, I guess it's, in a way, yeah.
On those lakes here, what do you fish for?
Out here and all that kind of stuff, so, it's all private, so that's the way it goes out here.
Roger. On those lakes here, what do you fish for?
I don't know. I try. My wife, she likes fishing for bass. But I'll catch bluegill, sunfish, you name it. I just like catching fish. I mean, she only fishes for bass, and so I mean, I'll do some bass fishing, and of course we got we got northern pike in this lake. We got we got walleye in this lake. So I mean, not like you would find in Lake Erie, abundant, but we got walleye, we got northern pike, we got, I don't know if we got trout or not. I don't know if we got trout, but we got about any kind of fish, really.
Roger. I just got back home before dark, and Pymatuning Lake, which is an inland lake here, half is Ohio, half is Pennsylvania. I see the guys on the causeway and around the spillway. Man, there was a bunch of guys there fishing for walleye right at dark.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, they get those big females this time of the year, man. That's where the big females, you know what I mean? On Lake Erie, you're only allowed to catch 4 fish this time of year, I believe. And then it goes up to 6 after April or May? I think it's May. But the big females.
Yeah, the breeders. It sounds like you were fishing on the western end of the lake. I'm here by Presque Isle, Erie.
Yeah, over by where Port Clinton, Ohio is?
Sure do. I used to shoot national match here at Camp Perry.
Yeah, Port Clinton area, Putnam Bay, Marblehead, all through there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Oregon, Toledo. Oh, yeah. I used to do quite a bit up that end of the lake.
Yeah. They say the fishing's better over closer to Cleveland for walleye, but I don't know. Of course, it's deeper over that way, so I don't know. Is it deeper over your way or what?
Yeah, it is. It's at some places there you'll see 90 feet.
Really? I bet the walleye like that, don't they?
You generally catch them suspended anywhere from 40 to 60 feet.
Yeah, over by where I'm talking about, there's holes. Usually the lake ain't that deep. I mean, it's not that as deep as over where you're at.
Yeah, you have the Maumee River up there, and that area there, let me think, it's probably 30, 32 feet in the shipping lanes.
Yeah, it ain't near as deep as what you're at, so. But, you know, there's fish out there. I just got to, you know, I try to find a hole. I look on the map there, and I know there's one place over by Kelly's Island. There's got a 40-foot drop and a lot of walleye hang around there, and then, you know, just different spots, you know.
That'd be a nice place for your smallmouth also.
Yeah. What do you do with your sheephead? You don't keep them, do you?
Oh, man, we eat them right up.
Do you eat the sheephead?
No. Generally just throw them back.
Yeah, ain't that a bummer? You get a hole, you think you got a walleye, and it turns out to be a sheephead.
Yeah, those doggone sheepheads will take a bomber along, eh?
Yeah. But, yeah, those sheepheads get pretty good size, but, yeah, they're all over that lake.
You ever cut into one's head there? There's a stone up there by their eye.
Do what now?
You cut into a sheephead if you're gonna grind it and make fish patties. Up in their head, up there by their eyes, there's a stone up there. Well, when we did keep sheephead, we collected those lucky stones.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. I found that's something new today. I didn't know they had a stone.
Next time you catch one, cut into its head.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try that one. That's interesting.
Yeah, back in the day, we even tried smoking carp, but they're a little hard to light.
Right. So, hey, what kind of copy you got on me that way?
What kind of what?
What kind of signal do you have?
Oh, like I say, I was on your picture 12 to 15 over 9.
All right, well, I just want to make sure I was being heard all right, I guess.
Yeah, your signal's 25.
KA3SDK.
Somebody just came in there.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I got a signal over here. He's about 5 over 9.
I talked to him. He's Ron. He's over there in Indiana or so.
How you doing, Ron? Yeah, I know we've spoken before, but I can't remember your call.
Yeah, you got Kilo Delta 9, Charlie Hotel Charlie.
He's the guy that was looking for Randy the other night with 572s.
Yeah, I remember. Yep, I knew I talked to you before. I just couldn't remember the call. Yeah, I'm not that great with calls. I forget. I'm getting old. What can I say?
Yeah, what'd you say now? I didn't catch into that.
What, about me getting old?
Oh, yeah. Who ain't getting old, man?
I am old.
I wish I was 21 again.
I don't know if I'd want to be 21 again, but younger would be okay.
You know why I want to be 21 again? Because that was the last year I really wanted to have a birthday. And after that, it didn't really matter. After I turned 21, it didn't matter after that.
There you go. Yeah. I don't really think too much about it. Everything's been good. I have no arguments.
Yeah, well, I guess every day you're on the green side of the grass, I guess you can't complain.
That's right. You did get your amplifier straightened out, am I correct?
Yeah, I guess. How about put on standby, see if you tell much difference. All right, there's standby. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, but it's a lot lower. You're about you're peaking about a 5 or 7, and with it on, you're right around a little over 9.
All right, that's the amplifier back on. I assume it does quite a bit better.
Yeah, quite a bit. Did you figure out why you couldn't get over 500 watts?
No, well, I can get a little bit more, but I don't want to drop. I don't know. I can get about 700 watts out of it, but this amplifier is, I was talking to a guy that works on amplifiers, I guess way back when they there's a tank circuit or something there that you have to change out, or just make you get more wattage out of it on 160. I guess when they made this amplifier, supposedly way back then, they had the rules on 160, you couldn't run that much wattage, so I don't know if that's true or not, but...
Really? What can I say? Hold on a second. All right, that's better. I had my SWRs too high. I was on the wrong antenna. I didn't have it tuned to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was going to get rid of the amplifier, and I thought, well, go ahead and put new tubes in it. I don't know.
Well, how does it do on the other bands, wattage-wise?
Oh, man, it rocks and rolls on 75, 40, 20. I can get 1,200 watts with about 80, 90 watts of drive.
Ron, I'll tell you, it's done the job for you here.
Yeah, I'm only doing about 600 watts right now.
And you did. I remember you saying you had a peak reading meter, so you were reading it that way. So it wasn't like it was just on a what do you call it, on a standard meter.
Yeah, I got the Palstar 4K tuner now, and yeah, I got the peak reading. It's showing about 600. I mean, I could drive it some more and get some more wattage out, but I don't know if you can tell much difference.
I don't know. Let me see. Right now, I'm running about my peak is right about 900 when it swings up. But I don't know if it's just over swinging. As an average, it's about 825, 850.
Yeah, I drove some more into it. Can you tell any more difference on the signal or not?
Say again. Talk some more.
All right, here it is. I got some more drive going to the amplifier. You tell much more on the signal or not?
Okay, now back up to where you were at.
Yeah, here you're 15 over.
All right, that's where I was before. How you tell any difference?
You went from a little over S9 to definitely over S9. So it did go up a little bit. It went up about from let's say on your really good peaks without being up higher, it just went over 5 over, and you turned it up, it went almost to 10 over.
Right. Well, I can run. Let me. I'm gonna run it in between because I don't know. I just got these tubes. I don't want to run it too hard, right?
I mean, it's rated for 1,200 watts. I don't think you'd be running too hard. Do you have meters that you can watch to make sure your grid and your plate current don't go too high?
Yeah, everything's good on that. I mean, we're back up on the wattage now.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as your grid current and your plate current is not exceeding whatever the manufacturer suggests, I would think that you're not hurting the amp whatsoever.
Yeah, I just want to save the tubes, you know. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, there is 80 watts of drive, and I'm doing about 800 watts.
Well, it definitely went up more. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're definitely going up to 10 over now where you weren't before.
Yeah, you wouldn't think 200 watts would make that much difference, you know it?
I think you might be peaking a little higher than you think, actually speaking.
I don't know. I guess 200 watts makes a difference, but I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, if you push to 800 watts and an amplifier's made for 1,200 watts and your grid current and your plate current is not exceeding what it's supposed to, and it's within the boundaries, you shouldn't be hurting those tubes at all. I mean, really, you're not pushing them hard. What do you think, Tom?
I agree with you.
Well, I'll put some more drive into it now. There's some more drive. I don't know if it made a difference or not. Probably not.
No, not really. 800 is probably a safe bet.
Yeah, I'll just run it like that then.
I mean, I don't hear any distortion or anything like that. It sounds absolutely clean. And I'm looking at it on the scope, and it looks good on the scope.
Yeah, I just wish it had more up on 160, but oh well.
I'm only running, like I said, this will do 1,000. I'm only running just a smidgen over 800, so I'm sort of the same way. I don't want to push to 1,000 all the time.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess.
Doing just fine.
I just hope these tubes last me a long time.
Which tubes are they?
572Bs.
What is that for a set? About $300?
Yeah, I got these for $260.
That's not bad. Yeah, I only have a single tube in this one, so I could probably, I think mine are probably 225. The better ones are 225.
Yeah, well, see, the bad thing about my amplifier is the damn tubes lay horizontal. They don't lay vertical.
Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. They lay horizontal, man. Flat on their back, man. Yep. And then he changed, I guess, later on but for some reason, to make it compact, they decided to put them, lay them horizontal, man. All four of them are laying horizontal in the amplifier.
Dentron?
Yeah.
I know, Tom. I mean, it really shouldn't hurt them that I know of. Are you familiar with them, Tom?
Not really. But I know that Dentron, Clipperton L, I'm pretty sure that runs, for what I know about it, your 572s. Is that what it is? Clipperton L?
Yeah, that's what I'm running, Clipperton L, yep.
That's the design of it. Should hurt. And now, Endzone, or maybe he still does. Bad Mike has one, doesn't he?
I don't know if he still has it or not, but I think his tube stood up.
Yeah, it depends on which one you got. I mean, if you got I don't know if I got the older version or new. I think probably got the older version, but yeah, there's a version that they stood them up in. Which I've been told to be better for the tube because, sagging the tube, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, if the metal inside of them would sag and once they get hot. Everyone I ever seen, they always stood up.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever look at a Clipperton L, if you get a chance to look at one, they lay flat down.
Well, if you don't run them too hard, they probably won't get hot enough to sag.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm not running it full bore. I mean, supposedly by the book you can drive with 150 watts, but yeah, if I run a steady 80 watts drive, I ain't gonna worry about it too damn much.
Yep, I think you're doing the right thing. Like I say, I only run mine around 800 watts, and I don't know if 200 watts make that much difference.
Nah. Anyways, yeah. I was watching this show. It's a new show my wife was watching. It's called, it's got Rob Lowe in it, man. You sit in this thing, you answer these questions, right? Trying to think of the name of it. It's a new show that just came out tonight, or I guess it hadn't been out very long.
I think I've seen the advertisement for it. Some kind of, like a cage you sit in, and if, I don't know how it works, but evidently if you don't answer something right, it drives you, swings you around or something. I don't know.
Is Project Blue Book on tonight?
Yeah, it's on right now. I was watching it, and it's got like a robot thing that flips you around and asks you questions, and if you get one of them wrong, then you get knocked, you get off the game,
Hey, I'm gonna be pulling out of here. I'm gonna watch Project Blue Book. Ron, it's good hearing you again, and Chris, you guys take care now. KC3 KXP, clear.
All right, Tom, you come back now here?
Oh yeah, I'll probably be back after Project Blue Book.
Actually, I'm recording it, so I look at it later on.
Well, I hope I got a clear bill of health on this amplifier. I hope everything's working all right. I guess it is.
Well, as far as I can tell, your signal looks clean. The audio's not distorted. It's not peaking or flat topping on anything. it sounds absolutely fine.
Yeah. Well, you know, the funny thing is I was on 40 meters, and I get a little bit of RF, and one day I wasn't getting RF. I don't know what the hell to say about it. It's weird.
What's that? Was that amplifier?
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you, I went over to my hand mic, and they said, oh, the RF went away, and then I tried it today. That was yesterday, and then today I tried it, and no RF issues. So I don't know. Damn RF gremlin running around or something.
Oh, you getting RF into your audio? It was starting to get raspy.
I don't know. They said, you know, when I put the hand mic on it went away, but then when I'm talking to the mic I'm on right now, they just, you know, that someone made the comment more than one, and then it was intermittent, and then now it's not in there, so I don't know. I run a different, you know, I got a 40-meter dub bazooka, and I was, I don't know, you know, whatever, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, do you know which antenna you were running when you did it? Because that has a lot to do with it sometimes.
Yeah, I was running the 40-meter double bazooka, not the one I'm running right now.
Yeah, I had problems on 40 and 20, and I ended up putting the snap-on ferrite beads on snap-on 31s, and I ended up putting the snap-ons before it went into the radio. I wrapped them around through it. I bought the bigger core one, so you could put LMR. It's snap-on over LMR 400, but I could wrap the mic cable through it once, and so I put two of them on input of the radio, two going in and out of my preamp, and then one at the microphone, and all my RF problems went away.
Right. I mean, it's weird. Today I was using it. Didn't even you know, make an issue at all. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what else I've heard that could cause it? And your amplifier and your tuner, if one of the connectors become loose, it'll start to have RF problems.
Yeah, I checked all my connections. It seemed like they're all tight. So, I mean, it didn't do it today. It was just an odd thing, man. I was on it yesterday, and they were talking about it. Today, I use the same. Nothing changed. And I don't know, maybe some you know, wetness out there on the antenna. I don't know. I mean, RF's a damn strange thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I say, what kind of microphone you running right now?
I'm running. Wow. Hell. Damn wattage just dropped down for some reason.
Your wattage just dropped down?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't tell by your signal. It sounds about the same.
Hello. I don't know. I had it on I hit the wrong thing on the meter, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, because your signal didn't go down. You're still 10 over.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, I think the meter might have hung up a little bit or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that's what it is. But like I said, your signal did not change. You're still 10 over right now. So if it went down in wattage, it's still doing a damn good job.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think I had it on peak or average. I was looking at something. I think I had it on average, not peak, and I don't know, or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably what I had on average. I didn't have it on peak.
Okay. Well, if you have it on average, it's going to show probably 40% of whatever it would be on peak. Maybe I've seen it as low as 30%. But I'd say probably about 40% of what it would be at peak.
Yeah, that's what happened. I had it on I hit the wrong setting on my dang tuner.
Yeah, I've done that too. I'm sitting looking at it saying, is this thing tuned right?
Yeah, I had it on P code, and I took the P code off, and I must have took it off put it on average. I don't know, somehow what I did when I got rid of the P code. It's okay now, though. No big deal.
There you go. Well, I tell you, if you have RF problems with the amplifier, I asked you what kind of microphone you have, but you never did answer.
Yeah, I got an old SM8, ICOM SM8 microphone.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, sometimes there's ferrites, you put one before it goes in the radio, maybe one there and one close to the microphone. You wrap the cable through it once or twice, and you'd be surprised. There's 31, mixed 31 ferrite snap-ons. They definitely did a good job for me. I pretty much put them on all of my cables just as a standard anymore.
Hey, there's somebody else out there. You hear him?
KA3 SBK. I barely heard them. Stacy, come on in again.
Yeah, KD2INX. I'm just seeing how my power supply is holding out.
Okay, sounds good. I got you about an S9 over here in Damascus, Maryland.
Roger. It's going good then. Had this old power supply and finally got resistors in, and it's working.
Awesome. And also we have, I believe it's Ron, KD9THC in here. Go ahead.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I have your name wrong?
Do what now?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I don't know, man. I don't know if he was talking to me or him. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, your name's Ron, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know if he was... I can just barely hear the guy out there. I don't know. You probably got a better copy, but I can just barely hear him.
Okay, well, I can switch between two antennas, and I can hear him better on one antenna than the other one. But I was okay. I guess the other station. I'm sorry I didn't get your call, but Ron can't hear you.
The audio is holding, and there's no wobbles in the audio. That's all I'm looking for.
Nope, I do not hear that, and the signal sounds clean. It's not distorted. It has good tone quality, completely intelligible. So, as far as I can tell, the signal's clean, and it's giving me about an S9.
Roger. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to sign off. I thank you for the radio and audio check.
Yeah, what's your call?
This is Kilo Delta 2 Indian November X-ray in West Hampton.
Kilo Delta 2 Indian November X-ray?
That's a Roger.
Okay, real guys, from log in. This is KA3SVK. Name is Chris. So, nice to meet you, and good luck on the radio. Everything sounds great.
Yeah, Roger. You know, the lower the band, it uses, so if it works here, it'll work on any band. So, okay, thank you again for the radio check. Let me sign off. KD2INX, we'll clear.
All right, real good. KD2INX, KA3SVK 73. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, I'm going to clear out of here. I got something I got to do. So, hey, thanks for all the information on the radio and the amplifier and everything. We got to take care of some business here real quick. We might be on after a while if anybody's still out here. So, 70 to you and have a nice night. And you see Randy? I said hi, man. Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. So we'll catch you later. This is KD9THC, and I'll be QRQ.
All right, real good. It's nice talking to you. Thanks for letting me in there when I came in. So with that, 7-3 and enjoy. KA3SPK.